anybody in the city that wants to be in radio. But again, for me, it wasn't even about being on radio. And I think that's even why I made it so far, because nobody's really expecting a random white dude that's lived all over, that doesn't have broadcasting experience.
From a group home.
Yeah, from a group home. Like, nonetheless.
You gotta stress that fact.
Yeah, I mean, it's real. But who's expecting to do like that's me to rise to any occasion? You know? And there was a lot of like little hurdles. Like when I started bringing up a lot of these kids, like Rich the Kid or the Baby, and I would get these crazy hits, you know, you would feel the friction. And I think for me, what really helped me out, and like, I mean, we're not working together no more, but shout out Live Like Davis. He was just big on the internet. So when things slowed down with the artists, because they would go, like when Flex starts hitting some of these upcoming kids, I was able to be like, all right, well, I'm going to bring Cheeklet in. I'm going to bring Fat Boy in. I'm going to bring in people that they're not even worried about, and we'll do stuff. And, you know, I enjoy comedy as much as I do hip hop. So it's just figuring out how to navigate. That's the tricky part. But I think it's easier to do when you don't have the agenda.
Top 5 dead or alive right now, off the top of your head. Right now.
Dylan. I don't know. I mean, that's such a loaded question.
First ones that come to your head, man.
I mean, Nas, Young Thug, Future, but Drake. I mean,
that's 4.
It's so hard, man.
You said some big ones.
Eminem.
But there's days.
Young Thug, Future, Drake.
See, here's my thing: there's days where I'd rather listen to Sig or Smokey Margella than Drake. There's days I'd rather listen to Drake than anybody.
It's moves different.
Yeah, so I mean, every day you're gonna get a different top 5. There's days I listen to like Lumineers on repeat. Like
you told me about the friction. You mentioned the friction when you started getting hits. Talk real quick about that.
Oh yeah,
give us an example.
I mean, it's everywhere. Anybody that has a job out there, there's somebody you got friction with. It doesn't matter.
How do you handle friction? Are you crazy?
Who was your number one friction and hot?
Oh,
man. You can talk about it.
It's hard to say because there's a lot of it subliminal.
Who was hating the most that you felt was hating the most?
I'm guessing it's like the biggest people. I'm gonna guess it's. I wouldn't say hate, but I think I competed the most with like the Ebros and the Funks. Okay. But I mean, at the same time, it's different because me and Drewski was like on a show together. Like Drewski did the New at 2. I was on from midnight to 6. So like a lot of what we did was put together where we're not competing. Normally, you would think we would compete because we both kind of talking to the same type of artists. We're close in age. But I think it's...
Both white boys coming up.
Yeah, white boys coming up.
You know what I mean? Because Drewski's my guy, too. Like, you my guy. Drewski's my guy.
Well, me and Drewski always have respect for each other because I was big on the internet and Drewski's in the streets. So Drewski really knows who's coming out of the tri-state, city, and Jersey, and all that. With me, I was like at South by Southwest. I would go out to Cali a lot. I've been to France. So I'm playing stuff that like he wouldn't even know about, that I'm telling him, yo, there's this kid in France that's going crazy. Or like these kids in London, Section Boys or Stormzy or Skepta.
I love that.
So, I mean, we more work together. With the other stuff, like my situation is unique, I think, because I had a lot of time. Like the overnight, I'm doing like 50 hours a week almost. And most other people aren't doing that. The DJs, we're not going to compete because I'm doing like all these days. They're in the clubs. So it's really just with people that have shows that want to talk to up and coming talent that it's like, all right, you know, whoever, you name it, anybody comes to the station. Yeah. It's Funk, Ebro, Nessa, Megan, you know, you go a couple more names down and I'm somewhere. So it's hard to say.
Let me ask you a question.
This ends. Hot 97 ends.
Yeah.
What's next for you? How do you carve that?
How did it end?
Yeah,
no,
Hot 97
ended
up crazy. I mean,
how did it end?
They fired me. So I got fired.
How did they fire you? I need the details. Come on.
Call you?
So it was Halloween. It was literally Halloween day. And I had just left the station, 6 a.m. I go home, I sleep. I wake up at 1 o'clock. And my boss calls me and he's like, that there was a video I did. It was like a skit with, I was driving, whatever. My assistant at the time was driving. I was in the passenger seat, and I'm in Brooklyn. And there's this homeless dude that comes in front of my car, butt naked. And I just like start ripping him on Instagram, like a barber would rip somebody that comes in with some dirty ass sneakers. Damn, bro. And yeah, I mean, I think it was really more political. Like, I mean, there's been a lot happening since then. And I talk to Hot pretty regularly, and I'm working on some new stuff. But like, yeah,
so it was a lapse in judgment. So your lapse in judgment caused them to have a call.
Was it an old video? It was lit, bro. Tell me the truth. It was lit.
What?
It was lit when you started dissing him.
Oh no,
When you was
I was
snapping on him.
sober.
You was-
I was just I'm an angry
Nah.
Brooklyn dude in traffic, and I'm like working nighttime.
Fuck.
Okay.
Yeah, this
I
isn't
thought
like
you
I
was
wasn't. Nah, I would always talk shit in traffic, and this video was from like 2016.
Okay.
But to be honest, March that year, me and my ex we split up, and I start getting in my bag. Like you know,
Okay.
when you break up with somebody, you like I'm going to the
breakups are
gym, I'm eating healthy,
Aw.
I'm doing. So I'm at hot. I'm like, we breaking up. I'm booking everybody. I don't give a shit. Like I'm like shooting my shot with artists that maybe are outside of my realm just to like try and level up.
Yeah.
And in like that year, I had Juice WRLD come up. I had the baby. I had, I mean, you name it. Like I had everybody that
Killing
was
them.
coming up.
Killing them.
Yeah, and that I think was rubbing people the wrong way. I had no jumper come in. He was talking hella shit.
So they just wanted a way. They used something to kind of like size you down.
That's
like,
what it felt like.
Yeah.
Because that's a legendary. Let's talk about that interview right there with Adam. You know that
was crazy.
He's the interviewer
He's so good.
of interviewers.
Yeah, I love
You
that.
know, he gets all the top guys. It's like you got to give him his props because he gave X his first look. He gave Juice his first look. He gave all them guys, little people, like all these guys that rest in peace. They're not even here with us no more.
Okay.
You know, and it's like you was on that same lane.
Yeah.
Like you was right there, bro. So it's like I see the animosity and rubbing people the wrong way because you like this, yo. I got this though.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm doing right now.
I always say I went as far as I could go, like within the politics.
Within that
Yeah.
realm, I say within hot.
Yeah.
Let's say, you know what I'm saying?
How do you not piss people off though? Because that's always what
You
I
can't.
try my best to not piss people off. I'm like, oh my god, how do I not make someone upset?
Guy's been smiling and everything since he got
Nah,
here.
I be
He's a
chilling.
good guy,
I'll
man.
go-
How could he rub anybody
I'll go
wrong,
cut
man?
hair, make pizza. I don't give a shit. Like I like music because I like listening to music. I don't give a fuck about industry shit.
Yeah.
So it was just weird. And then like the Adam shit was like I brought him to hot, but I basically was like, you do the show, I'll be your guest.
Wow.
So that was like he was
Awesome.
questioning me about all kinds of shit. So I think I just hit this threshold where it's like, what do we do with this guy? Like we can't stop him in the clubs because he's not in the clubs. He doesn't give a fuck about money. So it's like like we're already paying him bare minimum. Like there's nothing to do but try something different.
Are you Italian? Are you Italian?
I'm
man?
half. I'm Italian, Polish, and Russian.
You're more Italian though, man. I hear that Italian accent in there, man. You
it's
sound like one of the good old boys, man.
Yeah, nah, not a good old boy.
Hey,
I'm a bad boy.
the good old boys are the bad boys. That's what mafia guys call each other.
Okay,
The good
I
old
don't know.
boy.
I grew up in Queens, bro. I was around Dominicans and Corona,
Oh,
around
shit, it's
Colombian.
mixy over there.
Yeah, I grew up around way more people. Like I graduated all black high school in Brooklyn. Shout out BCA. Like, I mean, I've been everywhere, bro. Like it's hard to say, and that's the thing with the voice. I think too is I don't have an accent from like one. It's just all fucked up.
Distinctive place. Yeah.
So let's talk about your pizza. I see. What you a pizza maker? You make pizzas? What the hell's going on?
After Hot, right? I basically I'm done with Hot. I start working in Station Head. Station Head hits me up like literally the next day. It's like, yo, we want to pay you 3 times whatever they pay you. Do the same thing here. And it was crazy because I got lucky with that because really the first day we were gonna meet for the interview, I had like, you know, nothing really going on for the day. I was like, I'm gonna go meet these guys. We'll see what they're talking about. And that day, shout out to I think Sweetness at Rock Nation hit me. She said Tinashe was in town and she wanted me to sit with her to do an interview.
Shout out Sweetness.
Yeah, shout out Sweetness.
My birthday twin.
Alright. I see ya.
That's my people's word. But guys.
So yeah, so Sweetness hit me about Tinashe. Tinashe wanted to do an interview with me, and she was just like doing this first project that was like indie. She wasn't signed to nobody. Like she was just trying to work it, whatever. And she comes up like, and I get to the place to Station Head to do the interview, and they have a studio. So I'm like, yo, I didn't have any place to interview her. I was like, I'm gonna let you know, Sweetness. Let me see if I can figure it out. I got this job interview today. And I get there and the studio's there. I'm like, yo, can I use your studio? Like, Tinashe wants to come do an interview. Like, I don't have. So Station has like, yeah, of course. Like, she dropped an album, blah, blah, blah. And she went #1 like the following week. And we did an interview that day that was just like at the job interview. I'm doing another interview after the job interview with Tinashe. So they were like, all right, bet. Like, we fuck with him. Like, because the fact I think that artists still messed with me, whether I was with Hot or not, was a good look. And then like that same week, Lyrical Lemonade hit me up about doing stuff for their platform. So I start running with them.
Well, I mean, what you have to remember is that now there's the internet, right? So yes, Hot 97 is a huge thing. But the internet,
The internet's everything.
It's there. So at the end of the day, like, there's still life beyond corporations.
And that was the other thing too, because I learned from people that had been fired or that quit hot or whatever it might be, that you can't always just be like, I'm Hot 97's hip hop Mike. Like, I'm hip hop Mike, whether I'm at Power or Hot or Z100, whatever the fuck. I'll be a pizza Mike, like whatever, you know. But it's not about come do this for this brand. It's like, come sit with me. Yeah. You know?
Were you making pizzas with the pizza pusher?
Yeah, so Station had closes down after 3 months of being there.
Pizza pusher.
Because it was messed up, man. The station had shut down 3 months later. And my backup plan, like I told y'all before, like it was always either cut hair or make pizza. And Pizza Pusher hit me like, well, really, after Station closed, we went into quarantine. Like the whole world was like, don't go outside. And that week, I hit up Pizza Pusher because I'm like, yo, I'm home. I fucking got no jobs right now. Send me a pizza. And he's like, I'll send you a pizza if you come look at the spot where we cook and like, you know, like kind of just feel the vibes out. So I was like, bet. He sent me a pizza. I got fucked up. Next day I went and saw the spot. And it was just like the operation that he has is so seamless. Yeah. That I was like, I would love to cook here. Like that shit, like I could work with cannabis. I love cannabis. I could work with pizza. Like, you know, he just kind of got it going in that year that it wasn't like anything too crazy where I was like the only chef. So I went and I worked with him for like maybe 3-4 months of just cooking these stone pizzas.
I heard rumors. Hold on, I heard rumors that you were the secret behind the sauce.
Nah,
that you made the sauce, bro.
Nah, Pusha makes everything.
That's what I heard. You gave him the recipe.
Nah.
Is that true?
I just put a little more love into the pizza. That's it. I add like
more love. Wait, let's talk about what kind of love. So what's the love?
Not that kind of love.
No. But what's the love?
It's pizza's a technique. Like food in general is a technique. If we all make chicken parmesan today, it's all different sandwiches. Like, you know, so it's the same with pizza. It's like how you apply the sauce, like even the temperature of the room.